What's up guys, how y'all doing? Cosmic Carry here, bringing you another World of Tanks video. Today I should be dissecting my gameplay ever so slightly and kind of taking a look at my decisions, what I do in battle. It's sort of similar kind of to the series that I used to do called Anatomy of a Battle, where I kind of dissect my decisions, where I go, what I do, how I think, etc, etc. By any means, you know, I'm not some kind of fantastic amazing player. I think I'm, in a scale of things, a little bit above average, pretty decent. Gonna hold my own and all of that good stuff, but be interesting to share exactly, you know, what I'm thinking, the reasoning behind certain decisions, and etc, etc. Now, one of the most important things that I do is in the beginning of the battle, as the timer is kind of counting down, I take a look what's on the opposing team, what kind of hardware they have, and size it up against to my team. And it's not that important, I would say, when I'm in a TD, for instance, because when I'm in a TD, I'm hanging back and I'm just shooting at reds, you know, truth be told, and there's not that much, you know, when it comes to the opposition, when it comes to the reds, it doesn't really matter to me what's on the opposing team. And even if there's artillery on the opposing team, it doesn't really matter to me, because either we're going to win the game, I'm never going to see Arty, or once we're in the, you know, the losing stages of the game, I'm gonna end up losing, you know. So artillery has no bearing on me, you know, if I'm in a TD. If I'm in a medium, if I'm in a heavy, especially if I'm in a heavy. If I'm in a heavy and there's artillery on the team, and I'm in a wide open map such as this one, Sand River, you know, truth be told, a lot of times I want to put down my controller and just go home, you know, because there's not that many options. If I'm in a E100, for instance, it's, truth be told, it's kind of unfair that there's artillery on the team, because I know they're going to be focusing on me, they're going to be zoning in on me and all of that good stuff. And I also wish that, you know, Wargaming would come up with matchmaking option, you know, where there's no Arty, or have a day without Arty, and because it's desperately unfair, you know. I think on one occasion recently I was in my 100, there was 4 pieces of artillery on the team. That's desperately unfair, you know. But anyhow, if I'm in a medium attack, yes, artillery, you know, it's important to me whether or not artillery is on the opposing team, absolutely. But it just depends what kind of medium am I in, you know. If I'm in a T54, if I'm in a T62A, something quick and nimble, etc, etc, it's not that much of a concern to me, because I'm going to be so mobile and moving so much that he's just not going to hit me, you know. He's just not going to hit me. He doesn't have the accuracy. He's most probably going to splash me here and there. But artillery generally in my smaller mediums doesn't get a chance to directly penetrate me, you know, truth be told. If I'm in something like an E50 and a somewhat slower medium, I'd say yes, you know. Then, you know, with the Leopard 1, with the tank that I'm in, it just depends. Am I going to get lit up? There's a little bit of a cause for concern in my Leopard 1 when it comes to artillery, because I'm so lightly armored, and you know, the splash damage is going to be even more so deadly. So there is some cause for concern if there's artillery on the opposing team. I would say, well, one of the most important things, what I look for on an opposing team is, when I'm in the medium, is how many mediums do they have and what are they, you know. And if you take a look at what's on the opposing team, all they have is a Object 140, which is 100% an OP medium tank in the right hands, and a T44, a tier 8. So there's no cause for concern as far as competitions from other mediums, absolutely. And not just that, if you have a look at the mediums on our side, we have My Leopard 1, we have a Lorraine 40T, granted, you know, that's not a traditional medium, but still, a Panther 2 and a Pershing. So we have some pretty really decent OP mediums on our side, and we have twice as many, so straight away that's a positive, you know, for us, absolutely. Then I kind of size up, you know, how many tier 10s do they have versus how many tier 10s do we have, and you can see it's kind of even. We do have actually, I think, one more extra tier 9, but you know, that's kind of nitpicking, splitting hairs, etc, etc. And also I have a look, you know, what else is there, what kind of TDs do they have, you know, or how many waffles, how many Death Stars, and all of that jazz. And you can see they have an E4 and they have a tier 9 Woofy. To me, the E4 isn't that as OP as an E3. You know, the E3 is kind of pretty tough to pen, hull down, and you can absolutely shoot it in that machine gun port. I always shoot it. I always need like a high pen gun in order to penetrate that machine gun port. And whenever I penetrate the machine gun port on the E3, it's always on the left hand side I have most success with. I don't think I've ever penetrated the machine gun port on the E3 on any other part of the, you know, it's always on the left. It's always on the left, right on the tip of the left hand side. And to me, it's more OP than the E4. You know, why is that? It's because the E4 has a rotating turret, and because of that, there's more chance of penetrating thing because it turns. You know, some people say that's an advantage over the E3. To me, it's not. You know, when I'm facing an actual E4, because of the fact, you know, it does actually rotate. Okay, granted, it only goes 90 degrees one way, 90 degrees the other, but it's kind of, in my opinion, it's easier to pen. And the Woofy, and they have a tier 9 Woofy. I'm not really that concerned about the Woofy, and he's going to be all the way in the back, and it just, you know, it depends. There's pros and cons to having a Woofy on the enemy team. You know, it's, a lot of times tier 9 Woofy drivers are pig-headed and they mount that 150mm, which is absolutely redonkulous. It does produce, you know, some wicked results, but for the most part, for me, it's unreliable. So when it comes to the Woofy, you know, the question is it the 128 or is it the 150? That's what you got to ask yourself. Everything else, you know, it's mostly heavies, isn't it? It's mostly heavies on their team. Oh, pardon me, there's ISU 152, so that tank can do a lot of damage to me. And everything else is, you know, you can see it's mostly heavies, and all of this kind of goes through my mind in, you know, a split second while the counter is kind of running down. And as soon as the game starts, I'm kind of, as I'm moving into position, I'm double checking and triple checking what's on the opposing team, etc, etc. You can see E100, I know he's going to be limited in options. He's either going to go, you know, what is it, C7, or he's going to head south. Same thing with the IS7. I'm thinking, okay, hold down, he's going to be a tough nut to crack, but at the same time, you know, gun depression not that great, etc, etc. Conqueror, no, that's, you know, that's a tank I kind of fear. Absolutely got fantastic gun depression, fantastic pen, all of that jazz. E75, angle, M103, oh my god. T32, same thing, hold down, fantastic, beautiful tank. It just depends on the players, on the Reds. Do they know how to use their tank effectively? Smart, you know, all of that jazz. T34, a premium tank to be feared, has really decent penetration from a premium tank. IS-3, you know, tank to be fit. T-71, where is the T-71? Is he going to be scouting? How effective a scout is he going to be? You know, is he going to be a pest, a thorn in our side? All of that good stuff. So all of this kind of stuff runs through my head, and at the beginning of a match, you know, and then after that, when it comes to our team, you know, I take a look at what's on our team. I'm not as concerned what's on our team. You know, I take a quick look, but my focus is more so on the enemy team, you know, because I can't do nothing about what's on our team. You know, I can't take advantage. I can push our team, so to speak. You know, I can signal to them, hey, flank here, flank there, etc., etc. But I can, you know, more so can be done to achieve a victory if I simply take apart the Reds, you know, mentally, you know, and physically by actually shooting at them. You know, mentally I mean by knowing the tanks and you know, figuring out their weaknesses and reading up on them and all of that jazz, if you know what I mean. Anyhow, so as we spawn in, you know, the question is our team going to split up evenly? Are we going to disperse in a proper manner? By that I mean what you'd like to see is an even amount of tanks, and an even amount of types of tanks go one way and the other, you know, both in, split down the middle kind of thing. That's what you want, that's what you'd like to see. But at the same time, you know, lemon training, yes, it doesn't work, but when it's, I mentioned this before, team destruction, lemon training most definitely is a viable strategy option, you know, in order to achieve a victory. You can see what I have on my tank, which is kind of unorthodox for a medium, binocs and camo, but the camo is there because of my armor, and the binocs is there because of my fantastic gun. You know, I kind of sport when it comes to the level 1, in so much as it's all positive with this tank. You know, you have speed, you have maneuverability, traverse, you have accuracy when it comes to the gun, aim time, reload. You definitely sport. The only negative thing about this tank is armor. You don't have any armor, so you don't have any armor. You have a fantastic gun. It's a TD, but it's not really a TD. So for me, this tank is 100% a TD, and then it's a medium when called upon, you know. But right now I'm in this passive supporting spotting role where I'm just, you know, lighting up the targets, kind of laser beaming them for my team, for the armor. You can see what's on my right, Jagdtiger, and I don't know, is that E75 or a Tiger 2, but armor, basically armor. You know, this is how a game should be played. You know, the lighter tanks are there for support while the armor is up front. Take a look at the laser pinpoint accuracy of that gun. It's beautiful. It's just, once in a blue moon, RNG will troll you. Once in a blue moon, you will screw up basically and not aim properly. But for the most part, you know, it's like a laser. Okay, that was pretty difficult to pen, absolutely 100%. But and it's like I said, you're spoiled when it comes to this tank as far as laser, as far as the gun is concerned. You know, it truly is like a laser. It really is. So right now I'm just support role. Of course, 100% I am concerned about artillery, 100%, because what I'm doing here is just I'm repeating my movement. You know, there's repetition in my movement, and that is really bad when it comes to artillery, because a lot of arty players kind of look out for that. You know, if you're popping in and out of cover repeatedly, they can kind of gauge what your reload time is. You know, when are you gonna pull out again, and there you go, there's an arty shot, and that truly made me nervous. You know, that did make me somewhat nervous, that big black hole there in front of me. So I decided to pull back and kind of reevaluate the situation, decide what my next move is going to be and all of that good stuff. And it's like I said, you know, right now I'm just supporting this push on the south. You know, I'm looking for opportunities to arise where I can put my medium capabilities to that's not accuracy, that's pen, you know, being showed off. Fantastic. Okay, that was right on the curvature of the armor. But I'm looking for opportunities. I'm sniping, and in the meantime, at the same time, I'm looking for opportunities where my medium capabilities can come into play. And if you notice, you know, there's not that many people penning each other. You know, there's one, but there's not that many numbers kind of popping up above tanks. It's like it's a bit of a stalemate going over here, you know, in the south, like World War I trench warfare. And I suspected that, you know, the tanks were getting into this hold down mode where nothing was really happening, nothing was really going on, and I kind of sensed that, you know, this E3 and this E100 are just gonna be over here forever. So I decided to make my move. You know, I knew, you know, the E4, only 9 degrees left, 9 degrees right, you know, and see that pen come in as a play. That was the penetration. I hit it at a really extreme awkward angle, but that penetration kind of saved me. It really did. Auto aim on him, take him out. He almost got me there, but we good to go. And at the same time over here, it was kind of a smart play. Yes, indeed, it worked out. But at the same time, I could have got hit by a TD. You know, I could have got hit by one of the TDs in the back there. In the back there in the yonder. Don't know what I'm saying there. Yonder. E100, and we just take him apart little by little, and it worked out 100%. It worked out 100%. I kind of spurred my team on. Okay, this flank needs to be sorted. You know, this flank needs to be done and dusted. This flank is not going anywhere. We need to make something happen. This hold down business it's taking too long. So I decided to make a move. It worked. It spurred my team on, and you know, that E50M sprung to life with me, and it worked out 100%. It worked out. IS-7 side shots galore, all that good stuff. I see the Scouty. He's done. He's dusted. Mr. Scouty there taking some nice pot shots. You can see that, you know, T71, every time he hits me, he pens me. T34 off into the distance, beautiful penetration, accuracy comes into play there, absolutely 100%. T71, Artie took a chunk out of me, managed to track him. Kind of shame. I'm really scared about artillery coming into play here. And we're good to go. We're good to go. All of a sudden, you know, the game's done and dusted. We are good. What's that in the distance? I think that's the IS-3. Medium still in play, and not sure what's going on with that medium. He gets taken out, and we're good to go. Good to go. So if you take a look at the scoreboard, you can see everybody on our team did really well. Of course, you know, I got 4k damage, pat in the back, all of that good stuff. I'm trying to break the 5k barrier. I can't remember, was it 5k or 6k with the Leopard 1? I think I hit 5k the other day, I'm not sure, but definitely not 6k. It's pretty tough looking for those perfect games where the kind of Reds behave themselves, all of that good stuff, averaging around, I don't know, 3-4k, something along those lines. But as you can see, the fantastic teamwork on our team, you know, compared to the Reds and the opposing team. I think it was a combination of lot of smart players on our team. You know, I think we were just like picking and choosing our moments perfectly. You saw on the flank that I was at that a lot of my teammates were very cautious, very cautious, and they didn't want to push, and I kind of spurned them on to bust through that flank. And up in the north, I can't really comment. I haven't got a clue what happened. And but that's one of the main things that kind of changed when I'd say about a year ago with World of Tanks, is I decided to start looking after my hit points. Before, it was always about shooting the reds, you know, shooting the tanks, shooting the tanks, shooting the tanks, you know, get shots on target, you know, just get into positions, get as many shots on target as you can before you die, and then kind of like my strategy, my mindset kind of changed, and I think that helped me a lot, which was I started to look after my hit points. You know, I started to really kind of take a look at how many hit points I had versus the tank that I was facing up against. You know, if I'm in this tank, for instance, a leopard up against a mouse, you know, mouse has 3,000 hit points. It's going to take me a while to, you know, it's going to take me 10 shots. Well, I say 8 to 10 shots, but that's a long time, you know. So, and this is kind of significant, really is. Well, to me, so. In World of Tanks, looking after your hit points, just look after your hit points. And this is especially important when it comes to playing in mediums, in my personal opinion, because they have less hit points, you know, than you know, other tanks do. But like with the heavies, it's 100% different. You get more hit points than mediums do, for instance, but that's for a reason, you know, because you're up front, you're getting personal, you're getting in people's faces, you're getting bruised and bloody and all of that stuff, and that's why you have the armor, that's why you have the hit points, because that's your job. You know, if you're acting like a heavy, my personal opinion, if you're playing your heavy as a heavy, you're doing absolutely nothing wrong, in my personal opinion. With the mediums, it's kind of different. It's 100% different. You just, in my personal opinion, it's kind of like look after your hit points, look after your hit points, then act like go where a medium needs to be. You know, kind of pick and choose your moments and see, can you put the medium capabilities of your tank to good use and take advantage of that situation. You know, just like I did on that flank. You know. I sniped. You know, some people call this, and I kind of had a few videos up with this title. You know, Snipe Brawl Victory, and it just depends. You know, it depends what medium you're in. You know, M48 Pannon has god awful accuracy. You know, E50M, you can snipe in that tank, but you get into trouble or something like that. You know, the speed and the maneuverability is going to let you down. At the same time, you've been given a whole bunch of armor in the E50M, so what are you doing sniping in the back? It just depends. You know, you need to figure out, you know, what are the positives of the medium that you're in, and put those medium attributes, you know, at the forefront. You know, take advantage of the, you know, the medium capabilities of that medium tank, because each medium tank is 100% completely different. But it just, like I said, it just 100% depends. It just depends on each and every tank. And you see me kind of going through the list of reds. This has also changed kind of significantly when it comes to my playstyle, and you know, along with, you know, that philosophy, preserve your hit points. Another thing is, I've played a whole bunch more tanks. You know, when I go through that list of reds, I know the pros and cons of each and every tank. because 90% of those tanks I've actually played in them. You know, once you've played in the tanks, it's all very nice watching, you know, the Jingles video, the Quickie Baby video, and all of that jazz. But until you actually play in them, that's when you'll kind of figure out, for the most part, you know, all the positives and the negatives, and how to take apart a tank. You know, when Quickie Baby says, and if you're not interested in this tank, I'll show you how to take it apart. You know, play, if you actually play in that tank, you'll know more so than any Quickie Baby video. Not dissing the guy in any way, shape or form, but actually playing in the tank, you figure out more so how to take apart that tank when you face that tank. Okay, I'll shut up now. Take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos.